Let alone if we do have jobs, again, what can we do? Because that was helping us.
It will make us, people like myself and other individuals, have to make that hard choice. Are we going to put food on the table or have proper health care?
Listen, white people, not the smart white people. Y'all get out of here. The dumb white people, the white ignorants, as I refer to y'all. Come here, come here. Why do you think they have a black person, all right, as the face of this? Huh? Why do you think that is? I know, per capita, I get that. But why do you think that is? Do you think it's maybe because it makes it easier for them to screw you over? If you're so focused on Shaniqua, right, and the well stamp, the food stamp queens, okay, they're the black women, the food stamp queens, okay, that's all they do. They do getting food stamps. Do you think it makes it a little, I guess, more palatable for you to be suffering? Do you think has that ever popped in your head? Or are you really straight up Neanderthal mindset of black person bad, white person good? Is that, I don't know, man. I mean, maybe do I have to put rocks together to communicate with some of y'all? Like, please, how do I reach these kids? Someone tell me. How do I communicate, bruh? Do I have to go into like native caveman, ooga booga, language, right? Hieroglyphics? Something, tell me. Do you know when it comes to raw numbers, white people are more brutalized than black people, right? Now, we obviously can go into per capita and be like, well, black people per capita are more brutalized. But I'm like, you would think that white people would be like, well, hey, we're getting killed and brutalized by police at crazy numbers. But they don't care. They don't care. You bring up a white person being killed, they don't want to hear about it. You bring up a black person being killed, they get their popcorn out. Oh yeah. You know what? If he had just complied, none of this would have happened. And I'm just like, they have conditioned white people to not care about white people. The stick and on the carrot on the stick is black people for them. And I'm like, y'all are so focused on black people. Charlie Kirk's last words was gang violence.
All right, so here we go. My message would be let them starve, let them continue to be mentally ill. I ain't trying to save them. So I would say if they are doing bad, let them spiral out of control and let's just continue to clean our house. So by the time they do wake up, we're going to be in good shape.
That Lucas dude got ADD. He was all over the place. He talked about 30 things in each sentence and none of it was connecting and it was just random. It was like whatever was popping in his head. He was just throwing it out there without cementing or verifying or locking in any of his concepts. That boy needs some riddling. That's the medicine take when you
he's zesty. He's zesty. He's zesty. I don't know what. He's zesty. Because the first thing he did was not blame the women. I caught that. I don't know if anybody else caught that. It's not the women. What are you talking about? Who destroyed our family? Feminism. But then here you want to continue on the racism rabbit hole, but you don't want to address that other thing. And I think that's pretty much where that's one of the biggest things. And we can fix that. We don't need the government to fix that. We don't need the white man to fix that. We can fix our own families.
You know the things that people say. Frederick Douglass once said, "Power concedes nothing but power." Okay, and we spend like 1 point something trillion dollars on material things. So therefore, we have economic power. Okay, but our mentality is not toward that. We got too many people out here being individualism. That's why our conditions get worse because we never work individualism. We work collectively for our growth in this country and say it's a thing called Sankufa. That means to go back and bring forward. And I always say each of you all can do something to go back and bring forward. Each of you all can go talk to the little youngsters and tell them, hey man, I'm sorry. We let you down out here. Do you all understand me? The same way like I felt when nobody told me they loved me and they cared about me. I don't know about a lot of you all, but I'm quite sure a lot of you all folks will tell you they loved you and your family and cared about you. That's the same way they feel. Okay? So when we start talking about all this economic white folks, I keep telling y'all, man, how do you all think we survived this long? It's always been racism. Okay? Ain't no sense you keep talking about it. It's been racism as long as you know it. You ain't seen no bunch of white folks throwing in their white card, marching the streets, and somebody said, how did they get in the march that we shall overcome? I got a shirt here. You know what it said? Of people who don't know their past is like a tree without roots. Don't you know, when you brought that up, don't you know Martin Luther King was marching on Washington with 2 blank checks? What is that called? Reparations. But the big 6, all those little civil rights people, okay, they made him change his mind. That's the history. And that's how they got the white pastor involved and all these white folks and the Zionists, because you know these are not real Jews, right? You know they're Zionists, okay? The Bible tells you Jesus came across an Ethiopian Jew, not a Jew who was Ethiopian. See, it's the lies that we tell ourselves, okay? The Jewish religion comes from East Africa, which is Ethiopian. So, you know, when we out there, man, you got to tell the truth on this stuff. You don't know how much you can bring enlightenment to these kids. That's up under you all. You're up under me, okay? So I'm spitting it to you how you should teach these kids. That's the same way how I felt. That's the same way they felt.
There you go. Well, listen, Unc, like I was saying, we appreciate having you, the old timers, up here, because understand that this is recorded. This is documented. So this is a reference point. All right, we ain't just on the street or in the barber shop. You know, it all could be effective, but this here ain't going nowhere. We need y'all old timers. Y'all can't keep leaving the Listen, listen. Y'all can't keep leaving the planet with y'all knowledge. We got to put it on wax. Look at Leon laughing because that's what he want to do. Leon want to take all the secrets with him. Tell us, Leon.
This right here. This right here.
I learned on my own. Okay, I didn't learn none of this stuff in school. I dropped out of school in 8th grade. I didn't go back to school. So everything I learned, I didn't learn from my family. Okay, I learned on my own, man. You know, so those are excuses. History is still there if you want to read it.
So okay, so you saying that now? Here you go, Baba T. Can we, brother? You served in the military. Oh, like you are a bit different. I would like to call you an exceptional ninja. All right, you're an exceptional brother. Everybody ain't gonna be able to traverse your lane. Everybody ain't gonna be able to traverse Mr. X's lane or mine.
Why not?
Like I think we gotta. I believe we gotta cut down a little bit on the dangers of failure. Like everybody ain't gonna be able to travel the path of Baba T. It's yeah.
Why did you think we got this so far, man? What did I say, Sankufa? You got to go back and bring forward another little way you can. You know, our slogan is reach one, teach three, not reach one, teach one. Okay? For every 36 pink people, it's 6 of us. So can you imagine you trying to bring some type of parallel to these people? No, man. You don't think we've been working throughout our whole life here? We're indigenous people. We was working back then for each other. Wasn't no Bible in America and Africa. Oh, that's history, man. Remember, the Bible is 2,000 years old. Islam is 1,500 years old. How old is mankind? Huh? That's a spiritual hit on you, man. That's a gem. So you need to research that. That way you can pass it on to your kids. That's your job to pass stuff on. Don't be telling me. Didn't nobody tell me? I had to learn this stuff. They got books and everything. So what's your problem? I tell people, what's the violence you putting in your house? What type of music you playing in your cars? Okay? Don't tell me you can't do nothing about it.
I can't let that go. I can't let that go. You wrong as 2 left shoes on that one, Baba T. Because see, then the next thing you know, we'll be talking about legacy and why white folks got legacy. They don't die with the secret. They don't say, well, I didn't do what nobody told me, so why should I tell you? That's dead wrong. And then we'll talk about, well, these white folks got these legacy stuff and they got these buildings and we're in the level playing field. Yes, yes, the playing field is not level because y'all will not share your wisdom. You won't share the wisdom and you want to keep it to yourselves. And that is dead wrong, Baba T. I got to call you out on that, brother. I heard that. I hear so many brothers saying that stuff. And it's just like, why would you not want to tell me there's a cliff over there? I'm going to fall off and I'm going to die. Why do I have to experience it? You know what I'm saying? You know, why don't you tell me, hey, you might want to, hey, by the time you get here, don't knock Bonquisha up, take your money, invest in this kind of stuff. Why won't y'all tell us that?
Listen, I can't speak for a lot of people. And I can't speak for, our people. I just know I wasn't told none of that stuff. Didn't nobody tell me? They didn't tell me about the past. Okay? I roll up under some straight, what did I tell you, brothers? I'll roll up under some straight hyenas in my clan. Okay? Straight hyenas. All right? I'm talking about
And that was a disconnect.
1800.
That Baba T, that was you. That was you were. We know life ain't fair. However, within the family dynamic, within your nuclear family, there is supposed to be some fairness. All right. You were treated unfairly, not taught these things, and we can't keep passing that on. I feel you, Unc. I feel you 100%. However, we can't keep passing these unnecessary struggles along, Unc.
And because you have me on here and I'm spitting some gems to you, you take them gems and you spit it back. You learn more about these are gems I'm telling you. Right? You all saying, well, y'all ain't telling us nothing. Well, I'm telling you, I've been telling you all this since I've been on this panel, haven't I?
And we're quiet and we don't say anything. We let you go with it.
Anytime somebody want to talk to me about something, I'm gonna give it to you raw. Because it's a root cause analysis of every situation. And it depends on our situation as well. It's a root cause analysis. What's the root cause? You know, when you read history,
Yeah,
like, not say read history because that'll give you a chance to continue reading. You're gonna have little copyrights and stuff down, but you say, "Oh man, I gotta check that out." You know, one thing they can't change is books. They can change media, what you watch.
What you got, G Honda?
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, that just speaks to the significance of community. You know, it's just us as a black community. We just need to make communities great again. I mean, we could say what they're doing and what the Hispanics are doing and everybody else, but I mean, if we not passing down knowledge to our lineage, then what are we doing? I mean, just hoarding. I mean, that ain't it. That's why we got all these companies that got generations like Kellogg's and Procter and Gamble and all these people that have been making stuff since we was adolescents. I mean, you know, we just need to share that information.
That's it. Yeah, that I don't agree with not passing on information because we didn't get the information. I personally, that's part of my passion. Growing up the way I did, I don't want any other little black boys to go through what I've been through. Not because I deem them weaker, not because you know, not because I deem them weak, because I know I'm very much aware because I observe my peers. A lot of us don't make it. They end up in the grave or in the cell. And to me, there is no difference. So yeah, we got to pass down some of this critical information. And we appreciate you, Bobby T, for your gems.
Appreciate
But
you.
something as small as life insurance. So being in the funeral business,
Bingo.
I've
Get
worked
'em, EV.
I've worked in both. Whites leave that life insurance. They don't see it as an expense. They see it as a legacy lever. Our people, I don't give a damn. They gonna just throw me in the backyard. I don't care what they do with me. So now you sit and GoFundMe. You sitting there trying to make me do it for free. You get pissed off at me because I got overhead. It's like, come on, man, come on. I mean, that gives you the biggest idea of our community. We don't plan for that kind of stuff. We don't plan for anything because we look at it as an expense because why? It gets us further away from the bag.
Yeah, we got my wife got 10,000 on me. When I die, there's 10,000 for the funeral, which is more than enough because we all plan to be cremated. We don't, so that's the cheapest one. And it's just because it's just a shell, it's just the body, and it's irrelevant. I don't want to rot with the worms. I'm not trying to feed the worms. I'm not trying to feed the maggots. So just cremate me, keep me in a little urn over the fireplace. I had some plans to design like little necklaces and stuff where if the kids want, the necklaces would have some of my ash in it and they can wear it if they want. They can have it and just hang it up on the wall, whatever. But that's up to them. But we plan on designing that. Also, we're making a family crest. Yes. I suggest all y'all brothers create a family crest. I ain't gonna say my last name, but I'm a Leo, and my last name start with an N, and I'm trying to involve those things into the crest. And because I just happen to have a good sign, king and stuff, leader of the family, blah blah blah. So my family crest is gonna be something involving the N and the Leo. And I went to several websites to try to get a design, but I'm just trying to work on some stuff. But yeah, get a family crest and get at least
and a trust.
If you don't have life insurance, at least have burial insurance.
Yeah,
and a trust.
Get that life insurance. Trust is down. You're right. Down. People hear trust and they can't hear you, EV. But trust that life insurance. I sold life insurance. I believe in it. I believe I ended up selling Mr. X a policy back in the day. You get life insurance policies are the easiest ways to pass down some form of financial independence to your kids. They eat. You just do it early. Every time we have a kid, we get them a life insurance policy for like $35,000. When that baby, that monthly premium is like $3. It's
Let me make sure.
the younger the person is, the lower the premium is. It's please do it. Just do it, please.
And so people can understand, the 10K is the funeral insurance. Our life insurance is 6 figures. I don't have no $1 million life insurance plan. I ain't got it like that. But our life insurance is, if either one of us pass right now, the other will be immediately able to pay off the house.
Exactly. I got a term policy for that. So you got a whole life policy. Whole life policy builds up cash value. That's what you can draw from. Those premiums usually cost more, but that's why you want to get them young. Then there's term. Term has a term. So we got a 30-year term for like $250,000 because it's cheap, because it's going to end after 30 years. But that's just to cover our mortgage in case something happens to me. So if something's happened to me, like you said, the house is paid off, life goes on. This is the thinking of husbands and fathers. This is what you do. These is gems. Appreciate you, EV.
Says, man, MLK didn't make a change at all. Stop the lie.
Ooh, rest in peace, MLK, man.
Who that? That's you, Baba T. What you got, Baba T?
No. Obviously, people don't know King's history. A lot of people can tell me what King happened between 1963 and 1968. The man lived 5 years. You know the reason King got killed and Jesse Jackson was pointed? Because King told the black man, don't you go to Vietnam. You come back and fight for your city down there. You come back and fight for your people. King and Malcolm X was getting together to talk about some stuff, okay, for our people. All right? King said, man, the ghettos in the north are worse than the ones in the south. Okay? Don't tell me what King can, that's why he got killed. He said his dream was a nightmare. I believe I led my people into a burning building. King also said that black folks need to get away from white folks and get your stuff together. Okay? You all need to research King and not his book of prayers. His sermons.
There was a gentleman, there was a guy out of Norfolk, Virginia. He was Professor at Rutgers, Dr. Sam Proctor. He and King kind of traveled together. And he was telling people that back in those days, white folks and black people were so separate, and there was so many black businesses that were in the black community. He said everybody was black. The film director was black. The doctors were black. He said the only time you ever had to meet a white guy is when you had to go buy a used car. But for the most part, blacks built their own neighborhoods, and they did all that. He was saying he doesn't understand why this generation is trying to romanticize poverty. And this was, I think Dr. Proctor said this back, oh my God, it's been about 1994, 93, 94. So, you know, he had a lot of insight on MLK. I would read that book, The Seminarian by Miles Mark Fisher. I would suggest that.
Oh, hey, let me ask EV a question. Hey, EV, hey, in the funeral home business, a question. So, like, somebody being buried in a funeral home versus cremation, like, don't the funeral home charge like an extra premium for like them being buried in that said funeral home, or what?
No,
I know it might be like a stupid question.
No, it's not a stupid question. No, it all goes by. It's supposed to go by your overhead, and cremation is cheaper. That's a whole nother rabbit hole I ain't going down. But cremation is cheaper because the old guys. It was a redheaded stepchild back in the day. Everybody's focused on burials. So pretty much, no, it's just pretty much the whatever his or her overhead is, and they charge whatever they can. You know, there's some places that'll do it cheap, some places that'll do it for what they're supposed to be charging for. But that was salt of the earth there, Mr. Walker. Yeah, if everybody got life insurances, they ain't gonna want to be killing folks. Nah, you right about that.
Yeah, companies gonna listen, learn the rules to the game and move. This is what I mean. Apply that. We want to be less worried about our black babies out in the world getting hurt unjustly. Inexpensive life insurance policies can help. Either way, every time somebody perish in the hood, they pass in the hat, got to go fund me. We can stop that. I've said it on camera. I got some white friends. They didn't like family to me. All right. They had some death in their family. From that, these people passing away, from family members passing away, they collected over $300,000 in liquid from the policies. The little daughter of the deceased, what college was paid off, they had room and time to mourn instead of worrying about paying bills, and life goes on. Like this, we got to get on this kind of time, man. Life insurance policies, please.
Y'all are doing arson. Y'all doing the child trafficking. We have the Epstein files, and y'all still got black people's name in your mouth. Nothing. You're cooked. You're done. It's game over for them. And you know what? I know many black people are like, Lucas, stop trying to help them. They're done. And I'm getting to that point. I really am. I'm getting to a point where it's like, you know what? So be it. So if you want to drive off the cliff while talking about black on black crime, by all means. These people are the type of people to get in a car accident and be like, my arm doesn't work. Well, you know, it could be worse. I could be in Chicago with black on black crime. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Whether or not you believe, look, per capita, it's true though, Lucas. Per capita, y'all are on EBT more than us. Or if you believe, listen, how did per capita help Charlie Kirk? How did per capita help your birth rates? How did per capita help the little kids in the church? I mean, I can go on on and on. Per capita is going to be the undoing of white people.
Yeah, this dude is wild. But here we go. Nonetheless, we done made it through it. We talking about the truth behind the no EBT November. All right, we've been talking about who gonna suffer the most. I think everybody gonna suffer. It's not just the people who are on food stamps. We've been documenting it. Shout out to the truck drivers. Shout out to the mom and pop stores. Shout out to the kids and the, the disabled and the mental and all military vets. Shout out to everybody. It's gonna get wild.
It's the ripple effect. You got the folks that are directly affected, they're at the center. But just like a stone thrown in a pond, there's gonna be a ripple effect. Like Mr. X say, even our children. If we got kids that are going to school with Bonquisha's kids, everybody hungry, folks stressed out. Now our kids come home and it's bleeding onto them. A little nug jumping on your son. You know what I mean? Because for whatever reason, it's gonna be a heck of a ripple effect.
He got to transfer that pain. Pain must be transferred. If I'm coming to school hungry and you got a lunchbox, you're gonna feel this pain.
How do we know? Because we were those children trying to transfer that pain. Dad going right? Yes. I had to explain this to my son. I said, I'm gonna tell you how that little nug thinking, because I was the little nug. He looking at you. You look like you got a mom and a daddy. You all taken care of. You know what I mean? And they can smell this that you are stable, and they don't like you for it. And they trying to transfer their pain from going home and seeing their mom constantly crashing out, constant DV, constant violence, and now you got to get this. It's unfortunate.
That dude was hard to listen to. It's just like listening to my wife tell a story. Anybody that's married know how women tell stories. They be all over the place, and they be saying a bunch of unnecessary stuff and unnecessary details, and it just be kind of like a ramble and a rant. And I love her, so I try to listen, but I catch about 80% of most of her stories. Sometimes when I got stuff to do, I'd be like, can we get to the end of this shit, But this dude, he said a lot, but he didn't substantiate anything. It was an emotionally driven conversation, an emotionally driven point. He had no real substance to nothing he said. But if you dictate by your emotions, you'll love what he say. And that's probably why he got a platform. When somebody can control your emotions, they control you. So he energetic, he rolling his neck and doing all this his baby mama sassy girl stuff. And I guess it works. But the honest truth is he said a whole lot of nothing. And per capita is very, very relevant. And the people that say it only bring it up to let people know why stuff is the way it is. If they said way more white people doing this or way more something like that, you have to bring up per capita to make it make sense. I can't let you say, and this is the thing, it ain't even a defending white people thing. It's just, if you like the truth, you gotta like per capita. Because you can't be out there, well, way more doing this. No shit, Sherlock. It is way more of them. The shit ain't even, it shouldn't even be argued. It shouldn't even be debated. If it's way more of somebody than you, they're probably gonna do more of individual activities than you. I'm pretty sure way more white people own homes than black people. It's not a knock on black people. It's probably simply because it's way more of them. Shit ain't even rocket science.
So what you got? I get Jay in. What you got, brother Jay?
But isn't this one of those situations where two things could be true? I mean, I know he was like kind of animated and stuff like that. I kind of take a little bit of offense because I'm like that too when I get into my talking about my Predator and my zombies and my Game of Thrones kind of stuff.
Yeah, but he was doing this.
Hey, I might do that once or twice.
I refuse to push you in that zest, brother. I can't.
For comic, whatever. But that aside, isn't this one of those instances where two things can be true? Can't, just like statistics, can't per capita be used to push a certain narrative? And in certain instances, when you're having a specific conversation about a specific demographic of people, and you're talking about that, when somebody brings in per capita, it kind of takes away from the conversation. I could understand if you're comparing two different things, or comparing the overall umbrella of economics or EBT or whatever like that. But when you're talking about a specific thing, when people bring in per capita, it's kind of like you're taking away from what we're actually talking about. That's kind of what I got from it. I know we all kind of think on different parallels because we all want the same thing, but
so you're saying it comes across like a deflection almost.
Yes, when people kind of toss it out, I got my finger on a point, and then you bring in something else talking about something else that's doing the same thing. It's like, I'm not talking about
it. I can see
I'm
that.
talking about this specific thing right here. It doesn't make a difference what other people are doing or how it looks in the umbrella, under the umbrella of things. While it's true, while it's factual, it's not what we're talking about right now. So that's kind of like probably what he's talking about. And I kind of understood what he was saying. He's like, yeah, per capita people to death.
That will work if people usually started with per capita. In these kind of conversations, people don't start bringing up per capita. Per capita comes up as a rebuttal to someone else's BS in most cases.
That's what I mean. It's like a way out.
Per capita comes up to whataboutism. Well, what about the white people? They got 50,000. That's when per capita come up. What you saying will make more sense if the person came into the conversation with per capita, but it don't even logically make sense to start off with per capita. I can't think of a conversation where you would come in and start off with per capita. Per capita is usually a reactionary sentiment to in a conversation. You be saying, well, this is happening. Like I say, let people say, too many black people on welfare. Then the black person say, well, it's way more y'all on welfare than us. And then the person would say per capita. That's usually how per capita comes about. So, but if people were starting off with per capita, this guy sentiment would make sense. But in most conversations, that's not the case.
But I would say, depending on what side of the argument you want, they're going to be staunch. So if I'm accusing you, if I'm saying there's more y'all than us, I'm staunch. I ain't changed. And if you say, no, but per capita, then you staunch, and then it becomes that thing. So
it's like dealing whenever if you got two people and they both got burns, like over 15% of their body. It's like y'all both got burns over 15% of your body, but his is on his thigh and on his back. Yours is on your face and your crotch. But per capita, it's like kind of tossing it. Like y'all got the same amount of burns, but the effect of it, where is the burn? The burn is in our community.
What's the motive? What's the motive behind this per capita thing? It sounds like to me that each side is trying to make their situation seem better or not as dire. And okay, if that's the case, then for what? So, we ain't that bad off. No, y'all bad worse off. No, y'all worse off. That's the argument overall, right? Say, okay, I got crack baby brain. I got to sum this stuff up. Okay, so we trying to figure out who's worse off, and then what? So okay, let's say as black folk, let's say it's the whites. They're worse off. Now what do? What's the next move? We good. If they're worse off, I guess no need to change since we are
But can we
basing
say
our success off of them, what they got going on. Help me out. Where does this conversation end? What's the resolution? We're trying to argue who's better or worse off. This is wild.
So I'll get you in, G Honda. We'll get Baba T after that. What you got, John?
no, but don't it really allude to what Jay was saying about them using a narrative, weaponizing the term per capita to say, for like a political reign, so to speak? That's what it sounds like.
Say we're better. They're
Like
better
a
off.
reign for a certain demographic, like to say, like, well, yeah, like to say, like, the black people that's using on the EBT, the people that's crashing out and saying that they're going to loot the stores, that they're going to be a bigger liability on society during this EBT situation.
Okay, I got you. Huh. So
That's what it sounds like to me. That's
I got you.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Honda. So what do we believe? Yeah, I haven't seen any videos of Caucasian folks up here talking about looting the stores. Are they out there? Don't know. But we have dozens, if not about 100 videos you could probably search immediately right now on social media and find 100 different folks, mainly melanated women, maybe 2 or 3 melanated men up here talking about they're gonna go rob the stores. So I don't know who worse off.
People too worried about how per capita makes them feel than if it's true. It's like the truth don't care about your feelings. Reality don't care about your feelings. We know how numbers work. We know about Murphy's Law. We know about the more you do something, the more you try something, the highest chances of something happening. If I run through a minefield 30 times, it's a higher chance I'm gonna hit a mine than if I do it once. I'm playing with fate. So we understand how the numbers game work. And all that stuff is, and the more numbers are just relative to things like this, but people want to just ignore probability and statistics and numbers and math because it hurts their feelings. Per capita just simply can't be ignored if it's true. And something that's true can't be an attack or weaponized or anything like that. The truth is just the truth.
So this goes to my point that I always say, 2 things is true, literally. That's why I said the art is literally depending on what side you on. You ain't lying. If you black and you say there are more y'all on it than us, that's true. If you're a white and say there are more y'all per capita, that is true.
Exactly. But some kind of way cats can't get that and their feelings get hurt. Oh, you racist for telling the truth. Houseway.
What I'm saying is when people try to what's it called, straw man a conversation when they bring up per capita, if that wasn't initially a part of the conversation and they feel like they're losing the conversation, they'll bring up per capita. It's like, well, we're not talking about per capita. We're talking about this specific instance of this specific thing. So why bring in something else that has no bearing on what's happening in this microcosm, this small little circle right here?
But when they bring it up, is it relevant or not? That depends on the conversation. Because bringing up per capita can be relevant. If you're talking about our numbers, I bring up per capita, it immediately becomes relevant.
Not if it doesn't affect us.
Well, a lot of you all keep forgetting that even though when I look up, this shows me that 37% of pink people are on welfare, right? Our numbers is at 26%. Now, what I tried to do, and I can't comprise it, is I tried to deal with the inner cities in America. And I try to deal with the most populous, states and everything. So I can get some type of understanding of how it affects us only. So it states that 26% of melanated people deal with food stamps, right? Our population is what? 14%? So that's damn near every 1 out of 4 is getting food stamps. And people don't understand that's egregious, man. 1 out of 4 are getting food stamps. I'm not worried about them. It's more of them, but they at 37%. Okay? Check that out. But it's less of us, and we're at 26%. And we talk about, taking the kids.
Until those
Listen, food stamps have been around how long? The economy has been growing and growing and growing. Okay, people still on food stamps. Right after the pandemic, they had to close up a lot of businesses because people didn't want to work. So they had to close up them businesses because of lack of employees and also lack of a tax base. That's why this work to home is getting cut out because you have to have a tax base again. And these people got to go to work so you can develop that tax base. You know, people complicate this thing, but it's not complicated when you look at the numbers. When somebody
Man, Pete,
tells me the murder rate and they say, well, it's only 1% of us. No. Let's go to the 10 populous city where we are at. And like Chicago, we're number one in the murder rate based on population. You understand what I'm saying? I can't go throughout the whole country. You got 10 black folks in Nebraska. One of them shoots somebody. The murder rate's pretty high. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all.